Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 1st of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe we'll try to couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us well into the second half of November, and I shall get time back for you in a moment. Just to say about the first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. So please like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Thank you so much, everyone. Just to say that the second batch of calendars that I know so many of you are waiting for will be going on sale towards the end of next week, probably by about Friday next week, 1st of November. We're hoping that we will have the second batch of GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendars on sale. So if you're waiting to get your calendar, if you missed out in the first batch, then the second batch is on its way, and we'll have all the detail on that next week, you know, in terms of purchasing your calendar and all of that good stuff. It's going to be absolutely epic. Thank you so much, everybody, for embracing the GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendar. It's been an unbelievable project to work on. As I say, second batch of calendars going on sale at the end of next week. Thank you so much to James098 for getting these creative for us. Thank you so much, James. Love it. Thank you so much, my friend. Okay, let's start the video. We're going to begin having a look at tropical Atlantic. So we have got Tropical Storm Oscar here, giving maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure of 1,006 millibars. Oscar is moving northeastwards at 12 miles per hour. Clicking on Oscar and going here, we can see this tropical storm will be going post-tropical through the middle part of the week to the east-northeast of the Bahamas. They're moving up towards Bermuda as a post-tropical storm. That'll probably be the end of Oscar then. We should see the storm dissipating and disappearing once it heads up towards Bermuda. Then we're going to wait and see whether there's any more, developments in the tropical and subtropical Atlantic. Central temperature is currently sitting at 11.3. That is 0.8 of a degree above the 61 to 1990 average, and it's provisional to yesterday to the 21st of October there. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks, looking at London today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Starting off around average at the moment. We'll see the upper air temperature ticking up a little bit in the next day or so, then dropping down a little bit when we get through to the middle part, that stage of this week. Then lifting back up again through the end of the week into the weekend and on into next week. Generally a little bit milder than average here as we're pushing on through the first week of November. Precipitation-wise, could be a lot of dry weather over the next 2 or 3 days, but it looks like it's going to get a little bit more unsettled at the end of the week into the weekend of the beginning of next week. Then after that, relatively dry through the remainder of October, the last couple of days of the month, and into the opening days of November. Perhaps a little bit more unsettled by the end of the first week of November, but of course that is a long way off and is in the unreliable time frame of GFS and its ensembles. Temperature anomalies for the 22nd to the 30th of October, milder than average, and precipitation anomalies for the 22nd, 30th of October, they're coming out drier than normal as well. The latest weather map from earthnullschool.net showed that we've got high pressure to the south today from the Azores into western parts of Europe. Low pressure is away to the north, so low pressure north, high pressure south, flat as a pancake, and winds coming in from a westerly or a southwesterly direction. Nice day today, sunny and pretty mild as well. Right, let's start going through chart data then. Let's have the latest UK Met Euro run. Looks midnight on Friday. Trough of low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic then. That will be bringing showers and longer spells of rain through to Saturday and Sunday. Keeping it pretty mixed with high pressure against the south, low pressure to the north, outbreaks of rain coming in on these west to southwesterly winds. Always more unsettled in the north, always driest in the south, closest to that area of high pressure. That's a setup at the end of the UK Met. run, which today gets us 29th of October, and high pressure building back into south, being mostly dry weather there. Still a little bit more in central Scotland, and mild in all areas with winds from a west or southwesterly direction. Icon again brings that trough of low pressure across the country through Friday. Into the weekend, low pressure keeps it unsettled with showers and or longer spells of rain, particularly so in the north, where it's a little bit drier though down in the south. But by the end of the Icon run, which gets us again Tuesday next week, high pressure building quite nicely across the country, so mostly dry and fine, also quite mild. The KMA, once more, with low pressure pushing across the country on Friday. Then into the weekend, north-south split. Low pressure in the north, bringing outbreaks of rain there. Meanwhile, in the south, closest high pressure should be mostly dry. And all areas looking pretty mild with those westerly winds as well. High pressure building through the early to middle part of next week. Again, brings a lot of dry and warm weather to the south, but to the north will be a little bit more unsettled. And we keep these flat westerlies going into the opening days of November. That's a setup by the 3rd of November, with low pressure bringing showers and long spells of rain to the north and west, but drier in the south and in the southeast. And again, we bring up those winds from a west or southwesterly direction. So all the time, it stays mild. At least it will be mild. Right, I'm so sorry, everyone. GFS midnight run. Again, bring that trough across the country on Friday into the weekend. High pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. So flat as a pancake with westerly winds bringing showery conditions to the north, but mostly dry down in the south. I'm trying to find things to say, you know, a different way of saying it, because it's been ongoing wind model output for a few days now. So it is a bit of a struggle, you know, to find things to say. I might have a couple of days off, actually, if we don't see the charts changing in the next few days. I won't do that. But it's a little bit of a struggle to find something fresh to say, really, with model output at the moment. Anyway, this is a bit different. So by next Tuesday, high pressure is building up from the south. Most places dry, but it will be mild under that area of high pressure. Of course, there could be frost and fog and that sort of thing. But overall, you know, mainly dry and mild next week. By day 10, a little bit colder with winds coming in the northwesterly direction. So, sorry everyone, as a band of rain starts to push south beaches through the country. Better high pressure back in again. That's a colder ridge by the 3rd of November. So that could produce some overnight frost and fog. And then quite interesting, right at the very end of GFS midnight run, that high pressure goes to Scandinavia and we start to pull in a proper easterly wind. Actually some little puddles. Put your teeth in, Gav. But colder air started to get drawn in on those east winds, with -5 cells iceberg there, just heading on to the east coast. So a Scandinavian high and a pretty cold easterly wind setting up through the first week of November on the GFS midnight run. That's different. That gives you something different to talk about. This hour 6 is looking in comparison. Again, that trough coming across the country on Friday, bringing showers and longer spells of rain. I'm ending to the weekend, got high pressure south, low pressure to the north, that lasting to next week as well. So flat as a pancake with showers in the north, mostly dry in the south. By next Tuesday, high pressure building quite strongly through the country. That build of pressure continues up to day 10. There's always a chance of some frost and fog, maybe under the centre of that high pressure, though it is quite a mild ridge, so we might struggle to get frost going with that, but there might be some fog patches. Now, unlike the midnight run, 6 head does not take that high pressure. Scandinavia does have a go getting it there, but really best turn challenging in the Atlantic. So we just keep the broad pattern going, really, of high pressure south, low pressure to the north, all the way to the 7th of November. It's a significantly drier pattern than we've had through this autumn so far, but not the most exciting. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Make sure everyone for doing that. Why don't you drop a comment and let us know. So sorry again, everyone. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. I mean, thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Okay, GM with low pressure again into the Atlantic on Friday. Into the weekend, the low pressure slinks away. And then we go into that pattern of high pressure south, low pressure to the north through the weekend and into next week. The high pressure strengthens through next week as well, bringing mostly dry conditions. It's a mild ridge, so temperatures should be pretty pleasant up to about day 10, which is the 1st of November. Nights could be chilly, depends whether the skies are clear or not. And there might be some mist and fog patches and that sort of thing, but not particularly cold. And then the ECM, finally, with that trough of low coming in from the Atlantic on Friday, bringing outbreaks of rain. Then into the weekend, again, we remain pretty flat and westerly, maybe slightly less influence from a high pressure to the south by Monday. So a little bit more unsettled perhaps than a lot of the model output has shown it through the weekend and beginning of next week. However, that high pressure builds strongly, though, through the middle part of next week, being mostly dry conditions up to day 10. And should be pretty mild as well. Not really much more to say. There is a low waiting in the wings. Looks like it's going to break down the region just after day 10. This is the precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from TheWeatherChannel.com. Quite a lot of dry weather to come over the next few days. At the end of the week, we bring that trough through with outbreaks of showery rain. And those showery conditions continue into the weekend as well, and the beginning of next week before the high pressure comes back. It turns mostly dry up to day 10. By day 10, just some showery weather out in the Atlantic starting to make inroads into the country perhaps. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 1st of November. You'll notice we're without the colours again today, so makes my life a little bit difficult trying to interpret this, but I should do my best. So I have 12 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our south and southeast, low pressure out in the Atlantic. And so that can be mild and mostly dry, but the low pressure of the Atlantic could bring some unsettled weather later on. We've got 10 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the north, high pressure is to the south, so that's pretty flat and westerly. And then we've got 10 placing us under an area of high pressure. That should be mostly dry with low pressure and the jet stream up here. That's a mild breeze, but could bring some cooler air in off the continent, I suppose. We've got 8 members of the ECM ensembles looking quite unsettled. Low pressure heading in across the country from the Atlantic. 7 also quite unsettled with a fair amount of low pressure in the Atlantic and west-southwest winds. And then 4 ridging up high pressure from the Azores, so mostly dry with that. And again, with winds coming up from the southwest, should be pretty mild. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 6th of November. 13 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to southwest. Low pressure is to the north, flat and westerly with that. 12 members of the ECM ensembles again. Low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. That's flat westerly as well. We've got 10 looking more unsettled, quite a deep trough coming in from off the Atlantic there, I think. And a little bit cooler as well. We're actually going on to the cool side of the jet stream with that. So we've got 10 with low pressure away to the north, high pressure over France. That's going to be, again, mild and a little bit unsettled. And 6 with a ridge through the north and the west of Europe. That could be quite a cool ridge as well with low pressure out in the Atlantic. So a range of options, but generally looking rather flat and westerly, both at day 10 and day 14. It's only a question of whether high pressure from the south is in the ascendancy or whether it's low pressure to the north that's dominating. But all options really are pointing to a period, quite an extended period of Atlantic-driven weather lasting into the first week of November. GFS V2 finally reached the 500 millibar high tolerance, breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 22nd, 28th of October. The next week has high pressure ridging in from the Atlantic into the northwest. It should be a lot of dry weather and it should be pretty mild as well a lot of the time. Week 2 will be the 29th of October to the 4th of November with high pressure right over top of the country. Again, that should bring a lot of dry, fine weather. Could be a little bit cooler with the air coming around that area of high pressure, perhaps a bit more from a northwesterly direction. So you might get some chilly nights and that sort of thing. Week 3 will be the 5th to the 11th of November, with high pressure reaching from Europe into the Atlantic as well. Lots of dry and fine conditions. That could be a bit chilly with the air coming in from off the continent. And then lastly, week 4 looking like this is the 12th to the 18th of November. Still a lot of high pressure influences through the western portion of Europe. With time, maybe starting to see a trough getting going Scandinavia, which could start to bring some cooler air into that ridge of high pressure. But then again, we might still be maintaining like an Atlantic flow. So difficult to say how the temperature would be under that ridge by that point. But certainly a lot of high pressure. This is a big change of what we've had through the autumn so far. So it does look as though we could be shaping up for an autumn of two halves. Generally, very unsettled in the first half of the autumn, and then a lot drier into the second half of the autumn. Possibly, but we shall see. It's all speculation, but that's how the models are looking today. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Bring a show to everyone bored doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to you. Thank you so everyone for doing that. We only need to put on around 27, 28 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.9k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that'd be absolutely awesome. And we will thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, so tell us having on the channel tomorrow. Got 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. We've got the extended European outlook. We're going to be live at 6 p.m. with your 10 to 14 dayer. And if all of that wasn't enough, we've got the 4th and final sneaky peeky for Christmas 2024. That'll be coming up straight after the live stream at 7 p.m. I'll stop the live, enable the video, and you'll be able to see the 4th and final Christmas sneaky peeky at 7 p.m. tomorrow. That, of course, is ahead of the Christmas countdown beginning next week. Next week will be very exciting. Calendars going back on sale. Christmas countdown beginning. You know, it's all ramping up, isn't it? I love it. Okay, well, you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And for this remote, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.